So, Donald Trump had another very, very weird press conference today at the White House where he made strange comments about children. He talked about the ballroom. He talked about a variety of things. And yet again, I'm left asking myself, why does his team send him out there? Because every time that Donald Trump does one of these press conferences, every time he has a public appearance, generally, it always ends pretty badly for Donald Trump. I'd say it ends in humiliation, and I think this press conference is no different. I mean, the amount of lies that he spewed in a short amount of time is sickening. So, we're going to start with this clip, which I just thought was a little disturbing given what we know about Donald Trump. But he got distracted by children at the middle of his speech. He went off the teleprompter and said, "The kids, come follow me, e washal so like," bragging about the kids, liking the ballroom that he's building. It's just like, isn't that kind of weird, like seeking validation from children? Just watch.
Well, thank you very much. Now, I don't know if anybody wants to do this, but I'm going to be walking down here in about 2 minutes to meet with the people that are building the heliport. And you'll see right alongside of it the great structure that's rising right next to the White House, and that's going to be the ballroom/military complex. It's incredible. Now, if anybody would like to walk with me, I don't know if Linda's going to have any big events happening now. I don't think so. But if you'd like to follow me, especially with the kids could see construction. I love the sound of construction. When I hear all that banging out there, some people say, "Oh, that's too bad." And I say, "I love it." You know, so if anybody would like to follow me, it'll be a large group, but it's a large pad, and you'll be able to see some very hard-working people. They're working hard and they're making a lot of money and they're doing something great for America. And they've needed a heliport for many years here, and we're getting it all done. We're doing all the things that should have been done for years. So if you want to follow me with the children, I think it'll be very interesting. You'll bring your nice family, okay?
What the I don't sweat on the show, but what the F, you know what I want to say? What the hell was that? You know, completely unhinged. I just want to point out, and it drives me nuts, but I have to say it for my own sanity. If Joe Biden, you know what I'm going to say? If Joe Biden said this, if Joe Biden behaved like this, if Joe Biden went off script and talked like he just did right there, Fox News story for a week, maybe a month, because they don't really talk about anything over there, maybe a month. But Donald Trump is just like, oh, par for the course. He's rambling about children following him to go see construction at the White House. I mean, my God. Then people were also pointing out that in the speech, Donald Trump and his hair looked off. He's going with a weird side part. Might be time to bring back the wig that people were speculating that he had. And you don't have to listen to him talk, but the hair does look a little weird today. Donald, he's probably not going to like if this clip goes viral, because he just kind of looks like crap, which is a pretty consistent theme for Donald Trump these days. Then, on the topic of his hair, and more broadly, his health, his hand looked gnarly today. His injured skin is so discolored, it's almost glowing, which I would agree. I mean, just look how bad it is in this video.
Us through foster care, which is wonderful. But my children, one of them has autism, and one has developmental delays. And although they qualify for an IEP, because of the situation, they were unable to get them. So we've been unable to access the support.
Look at that hand. It is gnarly. And I always have to bring this up when we talk about the hand. We still don't have an answer from the White House as to what's going on here. They've had different explanations. They said that it's because he takes so much aspirin that it bruises They've said that it bruises easily because he's shaking so many hands, which really doesn't explain why there's bruising on both of his hands. You know. But still never an explanation from the White House as to, what's going on there. Then Donald Trump exhibiting his, deep and extreme stupidity is changing the vaccine recommendation again. And he's bragging about it, saying you do it with 5 different shots. 5 different small shots. Small little ones. I mean, this is incoherent.
And we introduced the Real Food Pyramid and reformed the vaccine recommendations to protect America's youth. We're making America healthy again. We're strongly requesting, even telling people when you get your shots for your young child, and this has to do, we think, with preventing autism, that you go to the doctor for 5 small shots instead of 1 big, massive shot. You do it in 5 different shots. 5 different shots. Small, little shots where those beautiful little bodies can handle it. And I think...
Par 3, 3. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Those beautiful little bodies did not like that. Again, given what we know about Trump's relationship with Epstein, I did not like that a little bit. That kind of like gave me goosebumps. Now, the real thing that's taking place here is Donald Trump is not making any vaccine recommendations that are coherent or in line with the science. He's not making anybody's life better. Matter of fact, he's making people's lives worse with him and his administration targeting vaccinations. For example, measles. We're now seeing that the vaccination rate has declined in kindergartners, which is how the measles vaccination rate is measured. They don't do it by adults for the most part, they do it by kindergartners. And it has gone down substantially because of Donald Trump and RFK Jr. 75% of states are now below the immunization rate we'd want to have heard. Immunity for measles. So he's not actually making anybody's life better. Matter of fact, he's making people's lives significantly worse. Then Donald Trump had the nerve to claim that we're back on the merit system in this country. Seriously.
After decades of racist policies and illegal quotas, we brought back the merit system into education. We're back on the merit system, which is what made our country great in the first place, so that our children will always be judged by the achievements and qualifications, not by the color of their skin or any other reason.
Is that right, Donald? Then why don't you apply that to your own administration? Because the Trump administration has loyalty tests. If you've ever said anything bad about Donald Trump and critical of him or the Republicans broadly, well, you're not getting hired. Matter of fact, there's actually a lawsuit. There's been lawsuits against the administration for this very reason. Lawsuits against Donald Trump's political loyalty tests for fit federal hires. So clearly, Donald Trump is not on the merit system. Unless the merit system is like how loyal you are to Trump. The more loyal, the more qualified, the less loyal, the less qualified. Kind of seems like the case with this administration. Donald Trump continued to be insane in this speech by making a declaration that every public school in America is now on notice that if they tell their child that they're trapped in the wrong body, they are committing child abuse.
He stopped it. Every public school in America is now on notice that if they tell a child that they're trapped in the wrong body, they are committing child abuse.
Wow. Okay, it's just, again, I have to point out the fact that he's like, attacking public schools for no reason. I mean, this is not happening, right? Public schools are not telling kids that they're trapped in the wrong body. He's attacking public schools based on a lie. But when it comes to someone like Epstein, he's covering up the crimes. Yes, it all is connected. It all comes back to that. And of course, trans kids is not the most important issue for like any American out there, unless you're a member of Donald Trump's administration or a Republican member of Congress. Maybe it's the most important issue for them, but most people are concerned about how their children are doing. Are they getting a good education? Are they being fed? Are they being active enough? Is the government looking out for them? Clearly, the Donald Trump and the Republican Party are not, because they've cut down the child tax credit and driven up child poverty as a result. So it's just funny that Donald Trump, maybe not funny, maybe pathetic, embarrassing, probably more apt description, that Donald Trump is focused on like trans kids and not the facts that child poverty has gone up as a result of him. These people are so out of touch. Like genuinely their priorities are so misaligned, it's sickening. Isn't it sickening? It drives me nuts. Here's another one where Donald Trump. Oh, look at this guy. He just looks like crap. Can I just point that out for a second, that he just looks like crap? And he's been looking like this for quite some time. But this is not a healthy man. This is not a healthy man. This is a man that looks like crap. And he doesn't want to admit it, and nobody around him will tell him the truth. But here's Donald Trump bragging about the ballroom, saying that because China has a ballroom, the United States needs a ballroom.
Bad and dangerous. And as you know, over there, we're building a military complex and a ballroom that will be second to none.
I mean.
Anywhere in the world. We have President Xi coming in 2 weeks, and I was over in China
I feel like it's how you
2 months
feel
ago,
at home.
We saw the Great Hall
I feel like
of China.
we're all just kind of collectively
now we're going to have a Great Hall too.
Anytime I hear this man
States,
speak,
so
I feel like I get
important.
dumber. That's why, sometimes in these videos I say, the less Trump, the better. If your doctor could give you a diagnosis or like a recommendation for your health, it would be less Trump. It just, something to keep in mind. And then Donald Trump did in fact do his little walk over to the helipad and took all the children and all the people that attended this event and said, hey, look at the helipad. I'm building at the lighthouse. It's so pathetic. So that was Donald Trump's little event today. I'm going to leave it there actually because I'm going to follow my own advice. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe.